And recording. I'm starting to lose my voice a little, I think. So, the thing for the night is I've been letting the YouTube algorithm suggest things for me. Over the last couple of days, if I've seen a still from a video that looks interesting, I've been adding it to my watch later playlist. And the two previous tracks that I listened to weren't exactly as heavy as the stuff I have been listening to. So it's odd to me that the algorithm suggested them. I liked what I listened to. It fit into the genres that I do listen to because I listen to a lot of stuff. But no metal as of yet per se. So the one I'm gonna listen to next is from Napalm Records. So I figure this one's gonna be pretty heavy in comparison to what I've been listening to these last few videos. So I'm a little amped for it. Last one was kind of dark wave, really dancey. So I'm expecting this to have more of an angst or something interesting to listen to because it's an 8-minute track. It's called Ayahuasca by a band called Therion. The still was a guy in a headdress, so very Native American looking. But also ayahuasca is a drug. You trip on it. I think it's like a spirit journey kind of thing. Either way, I have it pulled up here. Napalm Records, 8.5 minutes. This is from 2 weeks ago. 141K views. I'm just gonna jump into it. Let's see what it is, because ayahuasca. Should be kind of a journey. Go. It's an 8.5 minute song. I figure I'm probably gonna have to pause this maybe twice, just so it doesn't get blocked. So I said Native American. I'm also getting hints of maybe like Australian, like what do they do? A walkabout, where it's like a similar thing to yeah, the journey where you just get like essentially high and go on a spiritual journey. The chugging is real cool. The sort of drumming is kind of like a not quite tribal, but the BPM makes it sound like it's like a beast that's going clawing towards you almost. So like it's moving the song forward in a nice way. Then the layering of the vocals is kind of cool because sometimes you're getting the high pitched guy's voice, you're starting to get the woman's voice as well, but then it's kind of like almost like a row 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 your boat gently row row, like the way it's sort of they're landing on each other. So like ayahuasca, like you, I've never tried it. I hear you get real fucked up when you do. So like it almost creates a sense of not necessarily knowing where you are because you sort of get lost in that river in the row 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 your boat. So it's real cool. And there was, I think I saw like one of the transitions was like a DNA strand that sort of morphed into like branches on a tree. So you get the sort of thing where like oh, I'm a person, but Mother Earth, aren't we all the same thing? Like it mixes that way. So I dig the imagery. I dig the sounds so far. It's for some reason I was expecting it to be a little heavier, but like I'm digging the movement of the song and the way it's sort of like leading me towards something. Because again, this is like a third of the way through, so I imagine it's going to take me somewhere different. Go. So this is reminding me of a song I've listened to before. I think it was a song called like Atlantis or New Atlantis or something. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same band or not. But they had more of like a folkish Norwegian kind of sound to them, and it was like two women and a man singing, and they kind of layered their voices, kind of like a choir or like an. So this is very similar, but this is that other one was more like a basic construction. This the way it kind of flows into and out of each other, it's more pleasing to listen to. And again, like I don't know if I'm remembering what the other band was called at all, or if this is the same band or not. But this is definitely better. I'm enjoying sort of like the bass line in the slower parts has sort of like a menacing quality to it. Then all the sort of visuals of like ruins. It's like you're trying to get in touch with your past. There's metaphors with the fire. Uh, this guy here right now, he's in the water, but he had like a fire coming out of his spirit. I think in the back, the tattoo was what's that? I forget what that sign is called, but like peace, I think. Um, I'm expecting this to get a little more like invasive, like more a little crazier. Once it got into the visuals of kind of like the psychedelic kind of stuff, that's the point where he's like actually going crazy. He's getting high. What the hell is happening? And you think back into that kind of time frame, it would the only thing they could maybe associate those kind of visuals with is maybe like ripples in the water. So it makes sense that he would be in the water right now. Huh. Go.
Through the veil.
Hmm.
Your blackest of hearts, greet their blood sacrifice as springs of thy darkness appear.
That one there that was playing looks very Norse. So if this one is more Native American, like it seems like they might bounce back and forth between different hmm, mythologies. That's the word I think I'm looking for. Let's see. Final album of their Leviathan trilogy. Deep choir, psychedelic elements, delivering the finest bombast. Versatile yet heavy. Harmonious and balance between guitars, choir, and orchestra. Definitely choir. It's filmed in the Amazon. So I was thinking a little like Aborigine, based off everything in the background, but based off like the paint on and the headdresses and the way everyone was sort of what they were wearing. I was thinking more Native American. So if it's in the Amazon, that's South America. That's a third place that I wasn't necessarily thinking of, but that's interesting that it's in the Amazon. Let's see, Christopher Johnson, with a real shaman working with ayahuasca as an actor for the clip. So he likely knows what it's like to take an ayahuasca trip. Though they didn't necessarily focus too much on that. It seemed like, because there was only certain portions of the video where it seemed like he was actually tripping. Everything else seemed more contemplative, more just reminiscing, I think. Let's see, let's get out of that. But it was definitely interesting with all the voices sort of like melding together. Uh, you did have that sort of menacing bass riff, so the voices were very high pitched. So it takes you from that deep darkness into all of a sudden you graduate to this lightness that takes you away from that. So the constant back and forth journeying of the danger to sort of like this brightness in the voices that did sort of give you a kind of trip. And you did have the back and forth with the imagery of the fire and water. So, like, you think of one as cleansing, you think of both as cleansing. Uh, the fire, initially, I thought, like, oh, it's his spirit, it's his fire, his will to live. But then there was also, like, imagery of, like, a forest being burned. If you juxtapose that with like the ruins, like the fire is like destroying things, and the water is the purity of the water is what's reminding you of your past. So you take the trip of tripping on the ayahuasca in front of the bonfire, and in your head you end up in the lake. Huh. I do kind of wish the music had more of an ebb and flow or something more a bigger crescendo, something to differentiate it more, because in 8.5 minutes it did start to sound a little the same sort of feeling repeated over and over. So it started to get a little bit like boring, a little, like it was a little, like it might have been like a minute or two too long for my taste, as far as like the journey that I was on with this. So, but again, like if you're high, ayahuasca, like it generally, what is it, a long trip? I don't know. But yeah, it was an interesting sound. It was an interesting narrative. A lot of the renders felt like an older computer game from like maybe 2005 or something. But either way, it was cool. The melding of the voices, the choir kind of sound. I think that's the main takeaway I have from this. I think that sort of took you on more of a journey than the actual like instruments did. I think that's my takeaway.